Okay, so the first thing that I would like to go over with you all today is, let me get my camera here, is the answers to, in your student packet. You need to have that out. And you are first going to open up to where you see a tour inside the cell. So last week we introduced cell organelles and we went over and finished the notes. So you should have the notes completed. If you don't have those completed, the PowerPoint is on Schoology as well. And so, one assignment that you did was you took the notes and you were supposed to take them and put them into this table format. So, we're going to go over the answers to that just real quickly. So, your answer doesn't have to be the same for me. For the makes me think of, you actually may have drawn a diagram here. An analogy is comparing it to something else. So, I said gatekeeper. For the function, your note should just be straight from your notes here. For the function of the cell membrane, you should have said controlling what comes in and out of a cell. And this is both eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Cytoplasm makes me think of Jello. You may have a different analogy that you could share. Its function is that it's going to serve as all of the space inside the cell, holding most of the organelles in place, also found in both kinds of cells. I think of a ribosome as a factory because it produces proteins, which is its function, is the protein production, also found in both. These are going to be the only ones found in both kinds of cells. None of these are found only in prokaryotes. So all your other answers are going to be eukaryotic cells here. Nucleus, I think of as the brain because it controls all of the cell's activities, eukaryote. Endoplasmic reticulum, I think of as a highway or sidewalks. It transports items throughout the cell. And that's going to be eukaryote. Golgi apparatus or Golgi, actually, I think I taught this to you as Golgi body, but it's actually the same thing. So that is like FedEx or a mailroom, and its job is to receive and then package and ship to different places of the cell, also eukaryote. Mitochondria, I think of as a power plant because it takes the energy from the food you eat and converts it to energy your cells can use. Cell wall is going to be, I just think of it as a wall or a gate. And its job is for protection and support of the plant. I put some E because it's not in animal eukaryotic cells, only in plant eukaryotic cells. Chloroplast is the solar panel. That's how I think of it. It captures the sunlight energy and uses that to make food for the plant, which is photosynthesis, also eukaryote. Vacuole is, I think of it as like a pool or a storage center because it stores materials for the cell, and that is eukaryote. Then I want you to turn to your diagrams where you have your cell. Okay, and we are going to label these together. And I want you to try to ignore the plant here for a second and just look at the animal. I know it seems a little bit overwhelming here at the beginning, but we're going to kind of go it step by step. And Miss Stanley, I think she's my sub, will pause it when she needs to. So we're going to be looking at, and if you have different colors, colored pencils and things like that, it's great. So you can color code this just like you see here. Also, I want you to know that on Schoology, you have the answer key to this. And I also have put blank plant and animal cell diagrams there so that if you wanted to print those off and kind of practice, you could. So we're going to start here in the right-hand corner. And this structure right here, pointing to the whole structure, is the nucleus. The very center is the nucleolus. And then inside is DNA. And I wanted to add this to our diagrams because DNA is something we're going to learn about next and is so important in the cell and who we are. Surrounding the cell, okay, you're going to have ER, which stands for endoplasmic reticulum. Then you have these three dots, okay, here and here, which are going to stand for the ribosomes that can be found on the ER or free in the cytoplasm. And again, Miss Stanley, just pause this whenever you need to. Cell membrane is going to be the very outside. Golgi body. Vacuoles were hard, especially in an animal cell because they either don't have them or they're really small. Mitochondria are going to be next. I tried to make them rod shaped. Cytoplasm, and I kind of started to shade, I would have shaded sort of all this in. That's all the space. I tried to make my lysosomes look like crumpled pieces of paper to indicate like it would go to the trash can and get cleaned up or recycled, which is what a lysosome does. Here's another piece of ER. So those are the plant cell organelles, animal cell organelles that you need to know. And you need to know them as far as what they do, but also, what they would look like in a cell and where they would be located. We're going to go over here to the plant. It looks very similar. It has just a couple of differences. We're going to start also here in the right-hand corner with the nucleus, the nucleolus, and the DNA. Again, here you have your ribosomes, and you also, if you wanted to add here, this is also the ER if you wanted to add it. And then you're going to have the very outside of a plant cell is the cell wall. Then you have the cell membrane located just inside. Here's our Golgi body again, lysosomes, mitochondria. You need to add cytoplasm. Okay, so just draw a line here and add cytoplasm to point to somewhere in the cell. Then you're going to have your chloroplasts, which are going to be capturing the sunlight's energy to make food for the plant. There's another piece of ER, and then there's a large central vacuole. So plant cells actually have a bit more rigidity to them because of this outer cell wall. And then their most prominent feature when you look at them under a microscope, which we'll be doing next week, is actually the large central vacuole. So I wanted to show that to you there. So these are the structures, and you should have those labeled now.